Have you ever heard of a tiny deer-like creature that's earning farmers thousands of dollars every single month? Most people haven't. It's quiet, secretive, and almost looks like something out of a myth. But for a growing number of farmers across Southeast Asia, this little-known animal has become a powerful source of income. Its name? The Chevrotain. Also known as the mouse deer, the Chevrotain is the world's smallest hoofed mammal. But don't let its size fool you. Behind those big eyes and shy demeanor is one of the most underrated farming opportunities in the world. Today we'll uncover how people are raising Chevrotains, the hidden value they offer, and the critical conservation battle surrounding their survival. Raising Chevrotains isn't as simple as putting them in a cage and feeding them scraps. These animals are sensitive, shy, and thrive only in very specific environments. The most successful farms begin by replicating their natural habitat as closely as possible. That starts with space. For just 3 or 4 Chevrotains, farmers recommend a minimum of 50 square meters, enough room for them to roam, forage, and exhibit natural behaviors. Tight or stressful environments can quickly lead to health problems or even death. Space means freedom, and freedom means healthier, more profitable animals. The enclosure itself must be built from sturdy wire mesh, strong enough to keep predators out but open enough for air and sunlight. The ground is usually covered in soft soil, which lets Chevrotains dig instinctively, stay connected to their wild instincts, and feel safer overall. But that's not all. Smart farmers also plant greenery around the enclosure. Bushes, shade trees, and thick vegetation not only protect the animals from direct sunlight, but also simulate their native forest environments. This reduces stress and boosts their chances of adapting quickly. In other words, the best Chevrotain farms don't look like cages. They look like miniature jungles. Chevrotains are naturally adapted to tropical climates, but they're still highly vulnerable to sudden shifts in temperature and humidity. That's why climate control is one of the most important aspects of a successful Chevrotain farm. The ideal temperature range is between 72 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Go much above or below that, and their immune systems start to suffer. Humidity is just as critical. It should stay between 60% and 80%, mimicking the moist air of Southeast Asia's forests. But weather can't always be controlled. In rainy seasons, excessive moisture can lead to pneumonia and other illnesses. That's why every farm needs a designated shelter, a dry, enclosed area where Chevrotains can retreat during storms or extreme humidity. If these conditions are met consistently, Chevrotains adapt surprisingly well. Their bodies stay healthy, their stress levels stay low, and they become ready to grow, reproduce, and earn. Chevrotains may be tiny, but their appetites are surprisingly robust. Each adult can eat between 2.2 to 4.4 pounds of fresh greens every single day, usually a mix of cabbage leaves, lettuce, and Napier grass. That adds up to roughly 132 to 264 pounds of food per month, depending on the animal's size and age. But food isn't just about filling their stomachs. High-quality greens help support digestion, reduce disease risk, and strengthen the immune system. Alongside this plant-based diet, successful farms also include a small portion of pellet feed. These pellets contain essential vitamins and minerals that greens alone can't provide, particularly during breeding cycles or periods of stress. Hydration is another non-negotiable. Each Chevrotain needs about 1 to 1.5 liters of clean water per day. This keeps their metabolism stable, especially in the hot, humid conditions they're most familiar with. Simply put, better food equals better health, and better health equals bigger profits. Raising Chevrotains isn't free, but the costs are relatively low compared to the potential rewards. The average cost of caring for one Chevrotain is between $200 and $300 per month. This includes all food, pellet supplements, and basic health care. The most successful farmers don't just feed their animals. They monitor them closely every single day. Loss of appetite, fatigue, and unusual behavior are early signs of illness that need immediate attention. The most common problems include pneumonia, often triggered by sudden temperature drops, diarrhea from spoiled food, and parasite infestations, like intestinal worms or skin mites. To prevent these issues, farm owners regularly vaccinate and deworm their herds. They also maintain ultra-clean enclosures, removing leftover food before it spoils and ensuring that damp conditions don't create mold or bacterial growth. Every dollar spent on prevention saves multiple dollars in treatment, and keeps mortality rates low. One of the biggest reasons Chevrotains are so profitable is their incredibly fast reproductive cycle. While many livestock animals breed only once or twice per year, a healthy Chevrotain can reproduce every 30 to 35 days. Their gestation period is only about 3 weeks, and each birth produces 1 or 2 babies. Although the litter size is small, the survival rate is impressively high, thanks in large part to the mother's close care. For the first 4 to 6 weeks, newborn Chevrotains stay beside their mother, nursing and learning how to forage. By 6 weeks old, they're already capable of moving independently and finding food on their own. This rapid development means a small herd can grow surprisingly fast, especially in ideal farming conditions. More animals mean more meat, more breeding stock, and more money. Beyond their reproductive potential, Chevrotains offer something that's far rarer: ultra-high-value meat. In many parts of Asia, Chevrotain meat is considered a delicacy, tender, aromatic, and infused with wild flavors. It's commonly grilled with spices, dried to create preserved meat, or stir-fried with lemongrass and chili. In some regions, the price of Chevrotain meat can reach a jaw-dropping $231 per pound. That's why restaurants, especially high-end traditional establishments, are willing to pay top dollar for a steady supply. For farmers, this creates an opportunity to sell not just breeding stock, but high-margin meat products with strong regional demand. Each dish not only brings an income, it tells a cultural story. And the more the world falls in love with Chevrotain cuisine, the more profitable farming becomes. One of the best examples of Chevrotain farming success comes from Thailand. A small farmer, intrigued by the idea, started with just 10 Chevrotains in his backyard. He had no formal training, just curiosity and a desire to try something different. Over the course of a year, he studied their diet, improved their shelter, and learned how to prevent disease. The results? His small herd grew rapidly, and within 12 months, he had scaled to hundreds of animals. Today, that same farmer earns thousands of dollars per month by selling breeding pairs and supplying meat to restaurants across the country. His story proves that even small-scale farming, when done right, can lead to massive returns. The key was simple: knowledge, patience, and a willingness to learn. For all their beauty and value, Chevrotains are quietly disappearing from the wild. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, wild Chevrotain populations have dropped to between 5,000 and 10,000 globally. The Javan Chevrotain, one of the rarest subspecies, now has only 250 to 2,500 individuals left in the wild. The threats, illegal poaching, deforestation, and competition from invasive species. If we act, there's still hope. But if we wait, we could lose them forever. Governments and NGOs are now stepping in, creating protected zones, funding conservation programs, and educating the public about the ecological role of Chevrotains. Farmers can be part of this solution too. Ethical Chevrotain farming doesn't just provide income, it helps preserve a species. The Chevrotain may be small, but its potential is enormous. With the right setup, a single farmer can raise them for meat, breeding, and even conservation, all from a plot no bigger than a backyard. But their future isn't guaranteed. It depends on farmers, conservationists, and informed communities willing to give this forgotten animal the attention it deserves. If you're fascinated by this rare creature and want to explore more untold stories of wildlife, farming, and environmental opportunity, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Infinite Farming, because sometimes the smallest animals leave the biggest impact